Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. There were several questions about how to complete your outline, so I wanted to make sure that I gave you a little bit more instruction just in case you needed it. So, regardless of what period you're in, if you go into Schoology and you go down to the yellow Performance Task 2 folder, in that folder, you are going to see outline samples as well as your outline. When you click on the outline assignment, you're going to see two things. The first one is the blank format, which is what you should be filling in. The second one is an outline sample. The outline sample is going to give you more specific information about each of the components of the actual outline. So, for example, here is what the outline looks like on the formatting, and here's what the blank outline looks like. Okay, so you can always go back and refer to this so that you know what goes where in regards to this. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is take a look at an introduction paragraph so that you understand where all of this information is coming from. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is figure out how to make your topic relevant. You might be giving some sort of statistic or some sort of understanding of the severity of whatever it is your issue is that you're dealing with. And you might also be pulling information from one of your tier 1 or tier 2 sources or the stimulus material. So if you look at this example, what you will see, is that the information in this paragraph comes directly from Noodle Tools. Okay, so here I have this quote specifically from a mother of a disabled child. This came word for word from the text in her notes from Margaret Constantino. Okay, so that's where she's getting that information, where she says, mother of a disabled child, Margaret Constantino notes. That is giving us the credibility. Okay, then for the second part, she's talking about routines in this opening quote. So now I'm going to get a little bit more background information about routines and why they are significant. She quotes from another source from Nemours Children's Hospital. Okay, and then we end with section 3 with her thesis statement. Okay. So more importantly, we need to focus on the body paragraphs because that is obviously where the bulk of your paper lies. So your topic sentence is going to be whatever your first claim is. So what is the first point that you are making about whatever the first topic is? So if you go into your scratch outline, what I'm asking you to do is what's going to be lens number 1. So lens number 1 is essentially going to be your topic sentence. Or if you're choosing to do the other setup, it's going to be the background information, the history, whatever you have here next to topic 1 is going to be your topic sentence for right here. Okay? After that, you're going to include your support. So what do I mean when I say support? What are the 3 reasons or more are you going to use to support this claim? So in other words, support 1 is going to match with support 1 here. And support 2 is going to match with support 2 here. Okay? So then you need to figure out what evidence you are going to use. The evidence is going to come directly from your notes in Noodle Tools. Copy and paste it. So where then does the setup come from? The setup is going to come in Noodle Tools where you wrote your journal, where you wrote your MLA citation. You could potentially say that IWA wrote in an article titled Psychosocial Facets of Resilience, blah, 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 blah. You could potentially say in the European Journal of Psychotraumatology, Brian Accoviello is quoted as saying. You could potentially look up who this person is and possibly use that as well. Okay, these are all different ways that you can use the setup. So if you look at this example, in this particular section, the topic sentence is, or the topic in this particular section is about optimism and how this is a distinct quality of resilience. And what it does is it boosts mental stamina required for trauma recovery. So every single thing about this section has to relate back to optimism and how optimism boosts mental stamina, and that is necessary in order for trauma recovery. So here's the setup. Published in the European Journal of Psychotraumatology, an article titled blah, 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 written by blah, 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 the authors describe. Everything here comes right from, wrong Noodle Tools, comes right from this right here. Okay, this is the same thing. We're talking about the European Journal of Psychotraumatology. We're talking about the article that it's found in. We're talking about the writers. That is the setup. For the evidence, this is the quote directly from the notes. So if we go back to the notes, she used this particular quote right here in red, put it in her own words, and then we get the tie-in down here. Since optimism contributes to resilience, people who relied on optimism for recovery showed signs of resilience and therefore benefited from it. So if I look in the tie-in right here, that is exactly what is written. Okay? Now, in this particular case, she left support number 2 to be determined because she didn't have anything And then when she submitted the final version of this section, she added that in. Okay. So again, all of these pieces are going to come directly from your notes. So you can refer to your scratch outline. You can refer to the formatting because I gave you specific explanation as to what all of these pieces are. Please reach out and let me know if you have any further questions. You can always go back into Schoology, click on the outline samples, and look at the samples that I have provided for you as well.